all the best. This has been Good evening and welcome to Shine TV News. I'm Weslie Onsando. Honorable William Ruto says that he has no apologies for demanding that those evicted from the Mau be treated as human beings. Speaking at a meeting with the Mau evictees in Kipkongor at Kuresoi district, the minister is recorded as saying that to suggest he remains silent rather than talk for people like these is to suggest that he represents animals. Both the minister and the Honorable Assistant Minister for Roads, Franklin Bett, blamed the plight of the Mau evictees on the Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. This criticism of the Prime Minister came on the same day as it was agreed that ministers and assistant ministers will speak with one voice and publicly This criticism of the Prime Minister came on the same day as it was agreed that ministers and assistant ministers will speak with one voice and avoid publicly criticizing each other. Honorable Odinga spokesman, Mr. Dennis Onyango, earlier issued a statement saying that the Mau is not a popularity contest for Raila Odinga or a punishment he's meting out on anyone. He says, "I doubt whether there is any part of the world where the Prime Minister is not known for his principled position on issues before he began the Mau campaign." In other news, private investigations have revealed that firefighting units around the country are incapable of dealing with major fires due to years of official neglect, mismanagement, and corruption. The Nairobi City Council has 18 fire engines, but only one is fully functional, while the rest are grounded due to various mechanical failures. In Mombasa, the country's second largest town, the lone fire truck was set on fire by rioting hawkers earlier this year. It had just been bought from France for 50 million Kenya shillings. Donors are unwilling to fund the purchase of a new one because they believe that negligence is what led to the burning of the first one. In Malindi, a popular tourist destination, there is only one fire engine that can only carry water, but is unable to pump it out due to mechanical failures. It has also come out that despite the shortcomings of the fire units in these and other towns, the corrupt workers at the fire station and in City Hall have been paying for spare parts that have never arrived. Records show that 37,000 Kenya shillings were released last year for 11 tires which have never been delivered. It's so sad when a whole country of 35 million people seems to have only 2 working fire engines. If only people knew that it's actually their houses that could catch fire, then maybe there wouldn't be so much corruption in this country, right? On to business. The government has given internet service providers a stern warning to cut their charges or risk an official price cap. Firms have until March to reduce the cost on bandwidth and retail prices to allow more Kenyans to access the internet. This is because it now costs less for each megabyte of bandwidth. ISPs were paying as high as $6,000 per megabyte per month for satellite, but now because of the fiber optic cable, prices are as low as $200 for the same capacity, in addition to maintenance costs. However, this has not translated into cheaper internet costs for users and consumers. Instead, they are getting a higher bandwidth capacity which they might not need or use, and receiving the same bill as before the arrival of the cables. Assistant Information Minister George Kanere said that the government believes the charges should go down substantially. He says, and I quote, "Indeed, the government is concerned that the landing of the 2 cables has not had a profound impact on bandwidth costs and extension on retail internet prices. If we do not see any changes in the retail prices for the internet, the government, through the Communication Commission of Kenya, will consider introducing price caps for bandwidth." The number of internet users currently stands at 3.6 million, 90% of whom are in Nairobi and Mombasa, according to the CCK. Daystar University students do not have to worry about the prices of internet, as the technology fees cover them for the whole of the semester. However, thousands of people around the country do have to worry about them, as they are being charged inflated prices. The government says that these prices are soon to go down. The question is, when? Weslie Onsando reporting for Shine TV, Nairobi. In another story, the Kenya Revenue Authority has increased its monthly repayment of outstanding value-added tax refunds, a move that should put more money in the hands of businesses and spur productivity in key sectors of the economy. The authority says that it will now pay out 1 billion shillings every month in tax refunds. This is 250 million shillings more than the original 750 million. The build-up of VAT refunds has been a source of friction between the government and business community, with the business community accusing the taxman of hurting their operation by sitting on their funds. Increased payment of refunds, estimated to stand at about 6 billion shillings, should improve the flow of businesses that have been struggling to finance their operations in a subdued economic environment. Many companies have continued to report difficulties in accessing cash to meet their operational expenses as sales drop due to subdued consumer demand for goods and services. Now to sports. Algerian fans today celebrated a 1-0 victory over their rivals Egypt in a playoff match for the 2010 World Cup Finals. Algeria has now secured itself the last slot for African teams for the tournament, which will be held in South Africa next year. The winning goal was scored by Algeria's Anta Yahya, while thousands of fans watched from a stadium in Khartoum. The match was played in Khartoum as a neutral ground, for both the teams, Algeria and Egypt, have a history of violence by their fans, causing Khartoum to really clamp down on security. Nonetheless, 5 fans had to be stretchered off due to injuries incurred during celebrations. Hospital sources confirmed that they are being treated for minor injuries and should be discharged shortly. In rugby, National Sevens team coach Benjamin Ayimba has named a familiar squad for the opening 2 tournaments of the 2009-2010 IRB World Series. Other than the usual suspects, Ayimba brought back nondescript winger fullback Charles Kanyi and the Kenya Harlequins player Leon Adongo to take his side for the Dubai and George Sevens. Kenya, who affirmed their prowess last season by performing beyond many fans' expectations, will face Pool C top seeds England, US and Russia in Dubai Sevens scheduled for December 4th and 5th. They will then renew their continental rivalry with South Africa, Zimbabwe and France in Pool A at George Sevens slated for December 11th to 12th. The team leaves for Dubai on Monday at 4:30 p.m. and we wish them all the best. This has been your news on Shine TV. I am Weslie Onsando. Have a good night.